Hello everyone, I once again welcome you all to my YouTube channel English Vanessa. So in this punctuation series we are discussing about the punctuation marks. So I have explained you there are so many punctuation marks are there and these are very important in our daily life. So in the last videos I have already explained full stop, comma, question marks, exclamation marks and also apostrophe and capitalization. And also we have seen what are the end punctuations, internal punctuation and the word punctuation. Previous videos we have discussed capitalization with all its rules, that where we have to capitalize the word, and also we have seen the period and full stop with all the rules. Then we have also seen the comma where we have to use comma, a question mark and also exclamation mark where we have to use and when we have to use exclamation mark, and also the rules to use apostrophe. Now in today's video we are going to discuss the use of semicolon where we have to use semicolon, colon and also inverted commas. So let's start our today's video. So let's start today's topic semicolon where we have to use semicolon. And what is semicolon? So semicolon is nothing but it indicate a longer pause than the comma. And we use this to join two sentences. As you can see here, we use this semicolon to join the sentences. Here you can see the example. Here you can see the example. Melissa went to the library to study. It was the only place quite enough for her to focus. So here you can see we have two independent clauses. Melissa went to the library to study. It is one independent clause, and it was the only place quite enough for her to focus. It is the second independent clause. We are joining these two independent clauses with the help of the semicolon and we made a one sentence. So we use semicolon to join the sentence. So we use semicolon to join the clauses. Let's see the rules to use the semicolon. The first rule is we use semicolon to connect two independent clauses. We can also use comma and colon there, but we can also use semicolon. So the first sentence example is London is a famous city. There are many places to visit. Here instead of this we can use comma also and also the colon. But if you want to use comma here, you have to use and after comma. London is a famous city, comma, and there are many places to visit. I am going to order pizza. He is going to order sandwich. Instead of this semicolon, you can use and also. I am going to order pizza, comma, and he is going to order sandwich. So here the same in this particular first rule, we can use comma, semicolon, and colon for these type of sentences. Let's see the second rule. We use semicolon to connect two independent clauses which are joined by the conjunctive adverbs. Now, what are conjunctive adverbs? Conjunctive adverbs are therefore, however, moreover, then, finally, firstly, and also meanwhile. So, whenever you are using these type of conjunctive adverbs to join two independent clauses, you have to use the semicolon. Now, what is independent clauses? Independent clause is nothing but the clause which give independently sense to you, which give meanings to you. Like for example, we have here one independent clause. My birthday is tomorrow. Here is the independent clause. By reading this one clause, you can understand the meaning of this clause. But here we want to join two clauses. That's why we are using the word therefore, which is a conjunctive adverb. So whenever you are using conjunctive adverbs, you have to use the semicolon before this conjunctive adverbs. Then you have to use this word. Then after these words, you have to put comma. We have learned these rules in commas video. I expect lots of presents. This is another independent clause. The second example, I have conference tomorrow, otherwise I would come to your party. So whenever you are using conjunctive adverbs, you have to use semicolon before conjunctive adverbs, and after using conjunctive adverbs, you have to put comma. The next rule, use semicolon when a sentence contains list. As we have did same in the colon also, we can use semicolon also here. She likes coffee, not tea, fruit, not ice cream, and walking, not running. We call it fancy commas where we have alternative. means where we have choice, that time we can use one comma and one semicolon. I have been on holiday to Istanbul, which is in Turkey, Rome, which is in Italy, and Paris, France. Whenever you have alternative means choice, you have to use this fancy commas, one comma and one semicolon, and at the last you have to use only comma after and. The last rule, use semicolon when two independent clauses joined by fanboys. Now what is fanboys? I have already explained in comma. Fanboys are nothing but these are the coordinating conjunction: F for, A for an, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. So whenever you want to use the coordinating conjunction, we have to use semicolon. The interesting, comma, exciting match came to an end, semicolon, and there was a loud cheering. Here instead of the semicolon, you can use comma, and also you can use semicolon. So it's very simple. You can use a semicolon to join two sentences. The first rule is we use to connect two independent clauses without using comma and without using any coordinating conjunction. Simply to join two independent clauses, we have to use semicolon in between. And the second rule is we have to use semicolon to join two independent clauses when they are connected with the conjunctive adverbs. And the third rule is we have to use semicolon when the sentence contain a list, means a fancy commas where you have alternative when you have a choice. And the last one, when you have this coordinating conjunction in your two independent clauses, you can use semicolon, and instead of semicolon, you can use comma as well. Now let's move to another punctuation mark, which is colon. We use colon to introduce something. Like for example, you can see here a colon is used to introduce groups of words in a series or introduce a quote. When we want to use a when we want to describe a quote, we can use a colon there. For example, here also in example, when we want to give the description or meaning, we have used two dot here to give the example means meaning. At the time also you have to use this colon. So let's see the example. Frank was going to buy three things. Now what are those three things? Now here you are going to give the description. So here before giving the description you have to put colon here. You can see two dots. Now what are those things he is going to buy? A lamp, a couch, and a book. And these comma, when we have to use comma, you can watch the video of comma. So let's see the first rule. Use colon to introduce an atom or list if list come after a complete sentence. The ingredients required for the cake are, here we have a complete sentence. The ingredients required for the cake are. Now what are the ingredients we required? You have to put colon first, then you have to mention the ingredients, that flour, egg, sugar, baking powder, butter, and etc. So before describing any list of items, you have to put colon first, then you have to describe the list, the items. Let's move to the next rule. Here we have to use comma to provide further clarification in the sentence. We did same in example. Here you can see example. What is the example? Clarification we are giving here. So you have to put this two dot after this example. We have two options. Now here we are giving that we have two options. Now what are the two options? Now here we are giving clarification. We have eat at home or go to the restaurant. Here the clarification we are giving. So before some inverse meaning also we do the same thing in glossary. The word then colon, you have to give the meaning of that word. The next rule is, here we have the third one, used to introduce an example. The next rule just now we have discussed, the same example I have taken. We used to introduce example, this only example. We have two options, eat at home or go to the restaurant. The next one, we use this colon to emphasize on something. She always there for one person. Now who is the one person? We are emphasizing. So if you want to emphasize on the sentence, you have to put colon there. So she's always for whom? Her mother. That's why to show her mother's importance, we are giving a colon here. We have one goal, and what is that goal? whatever it could be, it's depend on you, whatever your goal. So emphasize on that goal, we have used colon here. Let's see the next rule. This is the fifth rule. Here we can use comma to separate two independent clauses when second clause is explaining the meaning of the first clause. Here we can also use comma and also semicolon. Our committee received the board's recommendation. It's the one clause. To finalize the budget tonight, it is the second clause. To join these two clauses, we are using colon here. Now, just now I have explained you the rule. The meaning, the second clause shows the meaning of the first clause. So we have the board recommendation. Recommendation of what? The second clause will explain that the recommendation is to finalize the budget tonight. So at that time you have to use colon when second clause explaining the first clause. Now let's see the next rule. We use colon before quote when quote introduced by a complete sentence. Like for example, we have discussed in the commas rule, Anna said, comma, let's go to the park. So why we have used comma here? Because we don't have a full sentence here. Complete sentence we don't have here. That's why we have used comma. But when you have a complete sentence, then you have to use colon before introducing a quote. Anna always give the same advice. Here we have a complete sentence. That's why we are using colon here, not comma. So what is the quote? Adopt a hands-off management style. The second one, Jawaharlal Nehru said. Here again we have the full sentence. Jawaharlal Nehru, it is the subject and this is the verb. Jawaharlal Nehru said, colon, at the stroke of midnight hour when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom. So this is all about the rules. So the first rule is we use colon to introduce item in a list. So before introducing item in a list, you have to use colon, then you have to describe your items. And in the second one, clarification of your sentence, you can use colon, then you can explain your further sentence, further information. The third rule, you can use colon to give example of something and to emphasize on your sentence. And we also use to separate two independent clauses when the second clause giving the meaning of the first clause. And we have to use colon before the quote when this before the quote we should have full sentence, not words, as you can see here. Just now I have explained you. So at that time you have to use colon here. This is all about the colon. Let's see the next one, quotation mark. We also call it inverted commas. So what it shows? It shows let's begin and stop. So when we want to begin something, we use inverted commas before beginning it. Then we write our sentence. Then we stop it with inverted commas. We close it quote. So let's see this. Quotation marks are used to mark the beginning and the end of a quote or to show speech used in a sentence. And also we use to show the title of the story. For example, I'm excited to go to the zoo this weekend. Exclaimed Molly. Molly is a name of a girl. So this girl exclaimed this out of excitement. She said out of excitement. What she said, her words are here under inverted commas, which is called quote. So here we before this quote we have started with inverted commas. We use inverted commas. Then again to close her quote we have used inverted commas. So let's see the rules where we have to use this inverted commas. Now let's see the first rule, use quotation mark in direct speech. You know what is direct speech? Direct speech is nothing but it is the actual words of the speaker. You are repeating the actual words of the speaker without making any changes in that. For example, I am excited to go to the zoo this weekend, exclaimed Molly. So here whatever she said, that actual words of her we are repeating here without any change. That is called direct speech. And how can we write in indirect? Molly said she is excited to go to the zoo this weekend. She said that, he said that. If we use that, that's called indirect. But actual word when we are using that called direct speech. And what you have to remember to start with a capital letter. Whenever you're using inverted commas, after this inverted commas, you have to use the capital letter. For example, second, who are you? She asked. So here the actual word of the speaker we have used and the with the capital letters. The second rule is use quotation mark or inverted commas to mark to enclose title of the stories, plays, poem, essays and articles. We usually do while writing summaries or any important essays. So to highlight something, we use inverted commas. You can use inverted commas like this too, or else you can use one inverted commas also. And here, whatever our speech is there, then we can close with. Either you can use these two inverted commas or the single line also. For example, I read a book. Now, which book you have read? Now, this book name you are using under the inverted commas. The power of the subconscious mind. Full stop. Have you read the article? Which article? After moon, India chases sun. Now here you can see I have used two type of inverted commas. Either you can use this two lines like two commas inverted commas or single inverted commas also you can use. So the second rule is we use inverted commas or quotation marks to enclose title of the story or for the plays, poems, essays and articles with titles. So this is all about the quotation mark. We use quotation mark to at the beginning and the end of the quote or to show the speech used in a sentence, mean to highlight the title. For example, just now I have told you the stories, plays or poems, essay or articles. If you want to highlight that, you can use these inverted commas. And also to describe someone's quote, you can use this quotation mark. See another punctuation mark, it's called ellipsis. Ellipsis shows what? It shows let's pause. So here in a speech we gave a pause, but in writing we put dot 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 which shows pause. So an ellipsis is used to indicate a pause or trailing off of a sentence thought. For example, weeks later dot 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 I finally found my missing shoe. So here for showing your pause we use three dots. That's called ellipsis. Now let's see the rules where we have to use this ellipsis. So now let's see the first rule. Ellipsis is used in informal and fictional writing. Just now I said we use this in writing only. In a speech we give pause, but in writing we have to show ellipsis to show a pause. For example, I'm not sure. Here that pause we are describing with this ellipsis because the reader can't hear us but he can read us. That's why to show our pause we use ellipsis to show that we have taken a pause there. Next example, Anna, I'm sorry. I hope you will forgive me. Now here after sorry we took a pause. That's why we have used this ellipsis. Come here, pause. Try to understand me. So in a speech we give a pause, we stop there, but in writing that pause we have to show with these ellipses. Now let's see the second rule. We use ellipses as an alternative to etc. Instead of etc, we can use dot dot dot, which means ellipsis, which means etc etc. I bought fruits, nuts, rice, bread, water, and etc. means many more things. So this is all about today's video. We have discussed the use of ellipses, where we have to use this ellipsis. Ellipsis is nothing but we use in informal writing in a fictional writing to show our pause. We use dot there, and also in alternative to etc. Instead of etc. we can use this dots which shows else. And also we have seized the quotation mark, inverted commas, and also we have seen the use of colon and semicolon. So I hope it would be helpful for you. Stay tuned for more videos and thanks for watching.